Welcome to Data Project Hub. In today's video, we will solve a SQL interview question. The question is, how can the conversion rate for visitors to customers be calculated for retail stores within a retail chain? So this is our question. For that, we are given two tables, which are visitors table and store orders table. Let us query the table and see what is the schema. So here is the visitors table. Visitors table has got visitor ID, visit date and store ID. Now coming to the store order table, we can see that we have another distinct pair of columns which are order, customer ID, visitor ID, order date and store ID. Now let us query both the tables and see if we can establish a relationship between the two tables. So when we go through the two table, we can see that we can establish a relationship using the visitor ID column. So visitor ID column is present in visitors table as well as the orders table. Now using visit date column and order date column, we can establish a relationship. Now using the store ID column and the store ID column from the orders table, we can use the two columns to establish another relationship. Now it is clear that we can make use of the three columns from the visitors table to create a join with the orders table. Now once more, let us go through the question. So here the question is to calculate the conversion rate from visitors to customer. That is, for each store, we have to calculate the number of visitors, then we have to calculate the number of customers, then we have to find the ratio of customers to visitors. And finally, we'll have to convert that to percentage. So that is our aim. So we will start with a select clause. Select star. For now, we will use star. From, we will make use of the store orders table first. Store underscore orders. So this is the first table and we will give an alias name as O. Now we will write a left join and we will use the second table which is the visitors table and we'll give an alias name as V. Now we are going to write the join condition, that is O dot, the column is visitor ID column from the orders table, this column, then will join with the visitor ID column from the visitors table, that is V dot visitor ID. And now the second column, that is visit date, will be joined with order date, that is O dot order date equal V dot visit date. And now moving on to the third column, that is store ID. So here also we have store ID. So O dot store ID equal V dot store ID. Now we have created a join with the orders table and the visitors table. Now let us execute this and see what is the result we are getting. Now when we executed the query, we can see that we only have few number of rows in the result. But we have to make a small slight change here because now since we used a left join, we only have rows from the orders table and common rows from the visitors table. Now that is not right. In the result or the expected result from the query is all the rows from the visitors table along with the common records from the orders table. So we will make a slight change in the query, that is instead of left join we will make use of the right join so that we will get all the rows from the visitors table along with common records from the orders table. So execute this and we will get all the records. So now we can see that we have all the records from the visitors table along with common records from the orders table. Now from this we have to identify the number of visitors and number of customers with respect to each store. For that, either we can write the same aggregate function over here or we can make use of this query as a CTE and we can write the aggregate function. In the first method, we will make use of this query as a CTE and we'll write the query. And in the second method, I will show you how you can obtain the same result in the same query. So here we will make use of CTE. CTE as open and close parenthesis and we are placing the entire query inside the parenthesis. Now we require only few columns to get the output, that is select. The first column is store ID. Also one more thing we have to slightly modify here because when we go through the result we can see that we have two store ID columns. Now if we reference the store ID column here, we will get an error telling that the query engine cannot identify which column to query. So in order to overcome that issue, we will specify the column name within the CTE. That is, we require all the columns from the visitors table. That is V dot star, comma. We require only few columns from the orders table. That is, we require the customer ID column. So O dot customer ID. Then we require order date. Let us keep that column. It is not necessary to keep that column, but for now we will keep that column. O dot order date column. So these are the columns which we require from the orders table. Now we will reference the store ID column over here. So store underscore ID. Now we will make use of the aggregate function, which is count. We will make use of the customer ID column, customer ID, which will give us the customer count, customer underscore count. So this is the first aggregate function. Then we will write the same count function for the visitors column, count of visitor underscore ID. So this is the second column which we require, and this is the visitor count, visitor underscore count. Now this is taken from the CTE. Now we will write a group by clause, group by store underscore ID. Now when we execute this, we will get store ID along with the count of customers plus another column with the visitor count. So before that, let me comment this select star. Now without selecting, we can execute this. Execute this, and we have the store ID along with the customer count and visitor count. Now the only thing we have to do is we have to find the ratio of customer to visitor count. So we can do that here only. So count of customer underscore ID divided by count of visitor underscore ID, and we'll give the name as conversion rate. So also make sure that multiply the numerator with 1.0, otherwise the result will be 0 across the ratio column. Now if we execute this, we will get a ratio column, that is conversion rate column with the ratio of customer to visitor count. Now multiply it with 100 and we will get the percentage. Execute, and we have the percentage. So if we want to convert it into the proper decimal places, make use of the cast function, cast as decimal, open and close parenthesis, specify the precision and scale, open and close parenthesis, execute this, and we will get the required output where we have store ID, customer count, and the conversion rate. Now in this method, we made use of the concept of CTE. Actually, it is not necessary that we have to write the query using CTE. We could get the output in the first query itself without writing a CTE. So I can show you how we can do that. Now instead of specifying the columns over here, we will write the aggregate function in the same query and calculate the percentage or the conversion rate. So here we will make use of v dot store ID. So that is the column we are taking. Now we will count the customer, count of open and close parenthesis, and customer ID should be taken from the orders table, that is o dot customer ID as customer count underscore count. Now we require the visitor count. So count of v dot visitor ID open and close parenthesis as visitor count. And now we have to write a group by clause, group by v dot store underscore ID. Now execute this and we will get the columns for customer count and visitor count. Now in the same query, we can write the same function, which is cast count of customer ID divided by count of visitor ID, and then we will get the conversion rate also. So we will copy the function, paste it here. So here reference the correct alias. So customer should be o dot customer ID, visitor should be v dot visitor ID. Now execute and we will get all the three columns which we obtained using the first method. So we have customer count, visitor count, and conversion rate. So for the store ID 101, conversion rate is 60%. For store ID 102, conversion rate is 0%, and store ID 3 or 103, we have the conversion rate as 50%. So this is the expected output. The script to create the table will be provided in the description. You can refer the description and create the table. Hope you like this video. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more. Thank you.